Today on Awakening with Amy, shift your reality. Claim fulfillment as the one and only story, no matter what is going on. Welcome, I'm Amy Valentine, here to awaken your ideal life so you can be, do, and have any desire. Today, we're going to talk about Neville Goddard and how to tell the story of wish fulfilled so you can be, do, and have anything that you want, right? So how do we tell our story from the premise of fulfillment in the midst of what we don't want? That's what we're going to delve into today, because this is a powerful teaching of Neville's. And it was inspired by a client of mine, and she's a really powerful creator. She knows the teachings of Neville and others and has created and manifested wonderful things in her life, loving her life, loving her job. But the only area that she was having trouble in, and that's why she called me, was she wanted to manifest this specific person, this SP, into her life. And it was somebody she barely knew. She had only kind of had casual contact over social media. And she started finding herself obsessing about how to talk to him again. You know, and she really, really wanted to just go on a date with him and be with him and hang out with him, right? So, but the circumstances seemed totally opposite. She was in a relationship. She was dancing at that time. This was early in the summer, dancing between staying or going when this person she met him. And the SP was also in a serious relationship, and he was even engaged to be married. So when she came to me, she was stressing out, she's like, is this wrong? What if I break them up? And I said, okay, take a deep breath. I said, you cannot, first and foremost, you cannot manifest or create anybody else's reality. You create your own reality. That's it. There's no other rule. Like Seth said through Jane Roberts. I said, you cannot mess anything up. I said, so the key here is to stop making it about him. I said, every time you tell the story from that premise that I'm making it about him and I got to make it happen, I got to effort it, now you're coming from fear. So you're telling the story with, whether you know it or not, from non-fulfillment, and that's what you're going to create. And that's what kind of opened her eyes. She's like, whoa. She's like, wait a minute. I said, so it's a little tweak, but it's a big tweak. I said, stop making it about the outer world, about him and what things look like. And, there was like a little bit of an age difference. She had all these things, all these limitations, these assumptions of why they couldn't be together. And yet she was wanting to go out with him. I said, so you can't get there from there, like Abraham says. So I said, stop telling the story that you have to make anything happen. It's already done. The desire came to you already fulfilled, no matter what it looks like right now. I said, just suspend your belief in linear time just long enough to start contemplating the desire fulfilled. Contemplate the desire from the premise of fulfillment means going beyond the reasoning mind, the how, the when, the where, right? Having my desire and being it are one in the same. I can't look out there for evidence and proof that my desire is valid and feel fulfilled. Think about it. That's what we do. That's what the reasoning mind does. It's always focused out there. Well, that's its job, to focus. But its job, like Bashar says, remember, is not to make anything happen. It's paradoxical. And the paradox is resolved by knowing the desire came to me fulfilled. I'm going to focus on my fulfillment. That's what my physical mind is for. And then I'm going to surrender it and let it go. That's how the paradox gets resolved. And I'm going to tell you later in the video how she did that and then what ended up manifesting. So Everything is within you and can be brought into being, into seen, manifested reality by telling the story of fulfillment, by imagining. That's what telling a story means. By telling that story from the premise of wish fulfilled, no matter what the appearances look like. So let's read a Neville Goddard quote and get deeper into the video and how she manifested her SP by telling a new story. Stop all of the old mechanical negative inner talking and start a new constructive inner speech from the premises of wish fulfilled. It is our inner conversations which make tomorrow's facts. Stop all negative. In other words, by negative, Neville is meaning I am not fulfilled. My desire came to me and I can't be it. I can't do it. I can't have it because I'm looking out there for evidence. Stop all of the old mechanical, the old habits of thoughts. Just stop them in their tracks. Don't do anything with them. Don't try to fix them, change them, manipulate them. No, just stop them in their tracks and start a new conversation, a new story from the premise of my desires fulfilled. That's the only process you need. So, telling the story of fulfillment is your only plan. Make that your only plan. Stop allowing the outside world to tell your story. That's what my client was doing. She was allowing the circumstances, the appearances, to tell her story. And what is the outer world anyway? It's just old news. It's old imaginings, old assumptions. And everything is always here and now. Remember that. It's here and now. The past has no ability to create your now moment unless you give it that power. So you want to stop allowing the old news to tell your story and tell a new story from wish fulfilled. So what did my client do? Well, she started meditating. She said, in meditation, it calmed her nerves and it calmed her, like focusing on what was going out there and looking on social media to see if anything changed. And she said, what happened to her is she got this message of surrender, to let go, to just be still and know it's already done. You don't have to make it happen. You don't have to force something that's already done. And that's what she did. She stopped allowing the appearances to manipulate her. And she started telling a story. No, I always get what I want. And she said she got laser focused on the end. She focused on feeling good, on what felt good to her only. And fast forward, I think 4 or 5 months later, she just gave me an update last week and said that he is no longer with his ex. He's no longer engaged. He reached out to her on a DM. They've been talking. They're both out of town on jobs, working or whatever, but they're going to get together soon. And I'll keep you updated on how this goes. But the point is, the circumstances don't matter. Only your state of being does. And when she stopped coming from the state of being that felt not fulfilled, that felt she had to, she was bound by the circumstances and let that tell her story. When she's just suspended all that, just let it all be there. And she went within and she created the story of fulfillment within her, with or without him. Honestly, she was just like, no, I always get what I want. I just forgot. Everything's always working out for me. That's it. She told her story, her I am, the word of God, your I am, started telling the story from the premise of fulfillment. John 11:25, I am the resurrection and the life. That's what it means. Your I am is your higher power, is your creative power to tell the story the way you want it to be, no matter what's going on. And remember, it's what Neville says. He wants us to understand that no matter what I'm thinking, no matter what ideas I've had before, no, whatever I assumed before, they do not matter. I imagine and affirm my fulfillment, and the outer world must mirror that fulfillment. You don't imagine and affirm and then wait for something to happen. Like start looking at, like she's doing, start looking at your messages and your DMs and social media to see, oh wait, did it work? No. Neville's saying, tell the story of fulfillment, wish fulfilled. That is your I am story. It goes beyond appearances. It goes beyond the physical reality. When you match your inner talking to that fulfillment, you can lay aside all other processes, because that's the only process. It's you giving yourself the gift that God already gave you, which is fulfillment. That I am that I am. I am fulfillment. And I came here in a physical body to have that experience, to have infinite experiences as that fulfillment. And that's our true nature. So we want to match our story to wish fulfilled. Imagine and affirm fulfillment. You want to stake your claim like my client did. She just said, I got laser focused. And remember, the paradox is the paradox resolves itself, because the paradox is you imagine, affirm, and assume your reality, and then you surrender and let it go. What are you letting go? You're not letting go of the desire. You're letting go of the how and the when. You're letting go of the reasoning mind and letting that higher mind take over, knowing it will lead you to your path of fulfillment. So that's how you shift realities. You start telling the story of fulfillment no matter what is going on, no matter what has happened. You tell the story from the premise of fulfillment until it bubbles up within you that, of course, fulfillment is my only story. And I will practice that here and now every single day. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for liking and sharing the video. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for your awesome comments. And until next week, see you soon.